Hello and welcome to this free training for people pleasers. If you're here, most likely you identify as a people pleaser or as a recovering people pleaser if you've already begun your journey to let go of the anxiety of worrying about what other people think of you. In this short training today, I am going to address one of the mistakes that people pleasers make and how to fix it. And I'm going to quickly break down my simple 4-step process called the inner peace pathway so that you can actually see how we could change this and have you. Ooh, I was watching myself on my phone and it went on really live. I'll break down my 4-step process so that you can see actually how we can fix this. So if you don't know me, my name is Cami. I am a life coach and I help people pleasers release anxiety so they can stop worrying about what other people think of them. And if you're joining either live or on the replay, please drop a comment below and say hello. Let me know if you're a people pleaser. Let me know if you're watching the replay with a hashtag replay so that I can come back and say hi to you whenever you are watching. So here's what's really interesting. Most people pleasers that I work with, they know they're a people pleaser. They're aware of it. So I first want to address, how do you know if you're a people pleaser? There's a few things that will help you to know if you are. And, I also want to address the question because when I went live on this the other day, somebody asked me, well, why is people pleasing bad? Don't you want to help? Don't you want to know how to keep people happy? And don't you want to keep your clients and customers happy? Well, yeah, of course. Of course, being a human involves social interaction and knowing what makes others happy and what pleases them. That can be a sign of a successful business, and it can be a sign of successful marketing as well. When it becomes a problem is when you are allowing people to overstep your boundaries. You're constantly in a state of worry and anxiety, thinking about what other people are thinking of you. You are in a state of fight or flight or panic or frozenness, and you can't move forward. So you're the one that assesses, is this a problem? Is this something that I want to work on? And I am speaking to those of you who are saying, yes, I'm putting my hand up. I'm saying I'm a people pleaser and I want to learn how to fix this. And the first thing I want to say is you're not broken. Okay. This is how we operate in society. We operate in society following social norms, right? You can't just walk up into the street and punch somebody in the face. It's not acceptable. So we were raised, right? The way we become a people pleaser is the way we were raised. And in most developed countries, the way we are raised are you have to do certain things in order to please your parents or your primary caregivers. Then you go into a school system. And the school system tells you how to do the right thing and to please the teachers and to stay in line and to put your hand up and to be quiet and to sit down. And then we go into a job or a career or an industry that sets the standard on how we're supposed to operate. So the entire structure of our lives is set up in order to please other people. Now, if you're reaching a pain point here and you're saying, ooh, I don't know how to get out of this pattern of always saying yes, of always overextending myself, of always really worrying about disappointing other people and thinking well, how are they going to feel if I say no to this thing? I want to help you to kind of move through this and give you a little bit of awareness and some first initial steps to take. So the first thing is I want you to realize there's nothing wrong with you. Okay. This is part of being a human being. And if you weren't sensitive to other people's needs and wants and desires, you would be what's called a sociopath, right? If you didn't have that empathy, if you didn't have that ability to connect. But what I find with the clients that I work with, both one on one and in my program called Anxiety Detox, is they're really kind, loving, and generous people. And they just want what's best for everyone. But what's happening is they're putting themselves on their lowest priority and they're not prioritizing themselves because they're putting everybody else ahead of them. So here's what I'm going to teach you today on how to kind of make this shift, especially on what you're focusing on. So I have a perfect example. This is one of the number one mistakes, and I'm going to be breaking down these 3 mistakes over the next few weeks. But if you want to have all the mistakes and you want the entire breakdown, I actually have a free webinar, a free training. And if you're watching it, so you're like, I want all of it right now, you can head over to www.releaseanxiety.me and you can register for that free training and you're going to get the entire training for free with all the mistakes, the entire process, and you will come away with a full understanding of exactly how to change this. But the number one mistake I'm going to go over today is focusing upon all of the thoughts in your head and replaying something that happened in the past, or even forward thinking into the future. And you're replaying, like, what are they going to think of me? What's going to happen? And you're stuck in your frozen thoughts and you're stuck in all this anxiety. So here's what this is like. This is like if you're driving down the road in your car and all of a sudden you get a flat tire, right? And you pull over to the side of the road and you're freaked out and you're panicked. And then you look at the tire and you see, oh, there's a nail in my tire. And then you go into this anxiety questioning. Where did the nail come from? Oh my gosh, was it here when I was, there's a construction site? Was it in my neighborhood? I don't know. Maybe it was when I went here and I went to the store. And you're stuck in these thoughts, asking all of these questions that are not getting you an answer. They're not getting your tire fixed and they're not getting you on to your destination. So, in order to fix this problem, what do I suggest? And what would you do? Rather than focusing on the past and focusing on what was and replaying the event over and over again in your head, asking questions that are not getting you a solution, here's what I recommend. You would call a professional. You would call roadside assistance, somebody that's professional. They've done it before. They can fix the tire quickly and safely. And I also want to speak to those of you who are self sufficient and you could change your own tire. I could also change my own tire. I just want to say I could. But here's what's going to happen. It's going to take longer. I'm probably going to get frustrated because I don't change tires all the time. And then I'm going to have to get down on my hands and knees, and my knees are going to get dirty. My pants might get ruined. It might not be a safe situation. So I would much rather call the expert that does it all the time. They've helped hundreds and thousands of people. They have a proven system. They can do it quickly and safely, and I can be on my way. So that is what I recommend. But let's rewind this or fast forward this towards your situation, which is I'm replaying something that somebody said, or I'm even like future casting and thinking about the future on what are they going to think about me if I do this, or this, right? This is how you would shift. If you were in the situation with the car, you would want to actually focus on, like, I was going somewhere. I was going to the store. I was going to get groceries. Like, I was going out into town, or I was on my way home to feed my dogs. The way to fix this is to focus on where you're going, right? And really align with, okay, I want to go there. So I want a solution and I want to get there as quickly as possible. So, in the same way, when you are focusing on changing the pattern of people pleasing, because that's all it is, it's a pattern you've practiced for years and years and years. You've been rewarded for it through society, but you're having this internal struggle and this internal pain of this increased anxiety, the tightness in your chest, the overthinking, the anxious thoughts, like maybe it's even affecting your sleep and when you wake up in the morning. So here's what you want to do. You would want to actually focus on how you want to feel. And every people pleaser that I've ever talked to is, I want to feel inner peace. So if you can just take a moment now and just kind of take a deep breath, what would inner peace feel like if you could say no, if you could set a boundary, if you could do it being really loving and really kind, and to not worry about disappointing another person? Let's just sit in that moment of the possibility that that is possible for you. And I do want to share a story of one of my clients. I work with this client for over a year, and I actually interviewed him on my podcast if you want to have a listen. But he shared his story about not wanting to disappoint people and having a hard time saying no whenever he got invited places. And this is very often, right? Like we're social people. We want to hang out. We want to maybe do something on the weekend, have fun with our friends or our family. But sometimes we also just want to like stay in, or we have laundry to do, or we'd rather just like sleep in, or whatever the reason is. And at first, he was having this struggle of like, I don't want to disappoint them and I don't want to upset them if I say no, I don't want to hang out with you. And one of the things that he said after our work together was, actually, I didn't realize how easy it is to say no. And I can say it in a really like normal, easy way without any anxiety, without worrying about disappointing them. And it doesn't blow up in my face. And it's not really a big deal. And they don't react the way I thought they were going to react. And it feels really good just to flat out say no sometimes. Like, hey, you invited me out. I don't really feel like doing that thing tonight, but I'd love to do this other thing with you. I'd love to see you. Maybe we could do this other thing another time. So he learned how to do this without the anxiety and without that fear of disappointing people. And I just want to let you know that that's also possible for you. And I'm going to break it down in the next few minutes here, my inner peace pathway. And if you want to know about the inner peace pathway, if you want to know exactly how to get results like my clients and my students have inside of my program, leave a comment below, even if you're watching the replay, so that I know you're following along, so that I know you're here and you're like, yes, I'm ready. Okay, drop a comment below. So here's my 4-part inner peace pathway. It starts with step 1, which is energetically shifting. One of the biggest things my students say is I'm stuck. I'm in fight or flight or freeze. I don't know what to do. I'm stuck in my thoughts. I'm feeling this tightness in my chest. It doesn't feel good. I wake up with anxiety. I go to bed with anxiety, right? So the first thing we need to do is energetically shift to get you out of the energy of anxiety. And inside my program, Anxiety Detox, which I teach the 4-part system, is really easy. Within minutes, you can energetically shift. Just notice taking a deep breath just like that, moving some energy, creating some movement. We do that through 3 parts within my system, and it's super easy. My students who join the program say, oh my gosh, I already feel better. And it was like 3 minutes, right? That's what I want for you. Now, the purpose of that is to shift the energy so we can get clear on what our actions are. So, step 2 is taking aligned action. And this is where most people are stuck. They haven't been able to take the action of saying no, of not overcommitting, of taking things off their schedule, of having a boundary conversation with a family member, right? So, what we do is we first set that foundation of energetically shifting, then we move into aligned action. And inside my program, I teach you exactly how to do this. I give you a framework for how to have a courageous conversation, how to prep for it, how to protect your energy, and how to end the conversation so that you feel okay and you're not having any anxiety and you're not letting any of their reactions bother you whatsoever. And I also teach you how to align your vision, your values, and your identity so that you become that confident person who can have these kind of conversations. And then we go into step 3, which is my maybe favorite step, which is celebrating and validating yourself. And this is so simple. It's literally telling yourself, good job. Why is that? It's because people pleasers are always constantly looking for external validation. They want to be told they're good enough. They want to be accepted. They want to be liked. But who's more important to like yourself than yourself? So, what we do in the inner peace pathway is we celebrate, celebrate, celebrate everything every day, all the time, so that you are celebrating yourself continuously, always, and that you know you're doing a good job and then you are enough, regardless of what anybody else says. Then we move on to step number 4. Step number 4 is master your energy. And this is where we've already set the foundation, right? By doing steps 1, 2, and 3. And master your energy allows you to live your life in such a way that nothing is ever going to kick you down. Nothing is ever going to make you feel small again. You know how to deal with every single situation. You know how to protect your energy. You know how to stand up with confidence. You know how to use your voice. You know how to align your values. And you know what to do if you mess up and you make a mistake and you fall back into that pattern. So, mastering your energy is going deeper into the work. And this is something that you will have with you for the rest of your entire life. So, that is it. It is as simple as that. 4 steps, inner peace pathway. It is really easy. And the students who are joining my program are already having those energy shifts as soon as they log in. So, I just wanted to give you this quick kind of part 1 of the mistakes that people pleasers are making, how to fix it, and then give you a bird's eye view of what I teach inside my program. And if you want to learn more about this, if you want to get the access to the full training, then I highly recommend you go and head over, register for that free training right now. It's at www.releaseanxiety.me. You are going to get access to the full free training, and you will get access for a really special offer to come join me if you want to continue to do this work together and to start having successes just like my students are inside of my program, Anxiety Detox. I will see you next time. I'm going to do part 2 and part 3 on this same thing. So, again, if you're watching the replay, if you loved this, go ahead and leave a comment below, and I will see you next time. Bye.